Hey guys, this is Ramesh from Java Guides. In this video, we are going to discuss DAO pattern in Java. So DAO stands for Data Access Object Pattern. Alright. So this is one of the most popular design pattern used to implement a persistent layer in Java applications. Alright. So we are going to learn a lot about DAO pattern in this video. So DAO pattern is a popular design pattern to implement a persistent layer of a Java application. So data access object pattern is a structural pattern that allows us to isolate the application or the business layer from the persistent layer using an abstract API. Alright, so we can use a DAO layer or a DAO pattern to separate out all the database related logic into a separate layer that we can call as a persistence layer or a DAO layer, and we can separate a business logic from the database logic. Alright, so I'm going to show you a bit later how we can separate out the database related logic separate as a DAO layer, and we can keep only business related logic into a service layer or the business layer. Alright, so in short, data access object or DAO design pattern is a way to reduce coupling between business logic and persistent logic. Alright, so we basically keep all the persistence logic in a DAO layer, and we keep all the business logic in a service layer. So whenever you want to change something related to database, then you can just go to the persistent layer and you can change over there. You no need to change the database logic into business layer, because we have already separated out all the persistent or database related logic into persistent layer. Alright, so this is a very good design pattern to decouple the business logic from the persistent logic. Alright, so here are the couple of examples. So DAO layer using JDBC API. So we can use a JDBC API to implement a DAO layer. So if you are using or if you are interacting with the database, then you can just implement a CRUD operations, and you can use a JDBC API to perform a CRUD database operations. Alright, and in case of a DAO layer using Hibernate, so you can also use a Hibernate framework to implement a DAO CRUD operations, and you can use a Spring JDBC library to implement a DAO layer. Alright, so in this video I'm gonna show you how to use or how to implement a design pattern that is a DAO design pattern using JDBC API. Alright, so we are going to create a CRUD database operations, and we are going to implement CRUD database operations using JDBC API. Alright, so look at here the high level diagram, and this is the business layer, and this is the DAO layer, and this is the database. Alright, so DAO layer basically contains all the database related logic or a persistence logic, and DAO layer can be implemented using JDBC API, Hibernate API, or Spring JDBC, or MySQL, etc. Alright, and here in a DAO layer we are separating out all the database or persistence related logic, and here in a business layer we are keeping all the business related logic into a business layer, so that these are decoupling each other. So and look at here, DAO layer basically exposes CRUD operations, basically exposes CRUD database operations, so we can implement these CRUD database operations using DAO pattern. Alright, so DAO pattern implementation. So look at here, this is the class diagram, and we are going to implement a DAO pattern according to this class diagram. Alright, so look at here, user DAO user DAO interface. So this is the interface which exposes these CRUD database operations, and here is the user DAO IMPL. This is a concrete class that implements user DAO interface, and it provides the implementation for all the CRUD database operations. Alright, such as insert user, update, select, delete, etc. Alright, and this is the user domain class or a model class, and we use to transfer between different layers. Alright, so basically we use a domain model or a domain object or a model object to transfer between the different layers. Alright, and look at here, this is a user servlet, and it acts as a presentation layer. Alright, presentation layer because it handles all the HTTP request from the client, and this is the user service. So user service basically contains all the business logic. So I will show you the example. So I have already created a project, and I have implemented all these layers. So I'm going to show you the logic or the code implementation for these layers. All right, so let me open Eclipse IDE. Over there I have created a project with all these layers, and I will explain you the exact implementation of a DAO pattern. So look at here in Eclipse IDE, I have created JSP Servlet, JDBC, MySQL code example. So I have created this project to demonstrate the DAO design pattern. So look at here the different layers: DAO layer, model layer, service layer, and web layer. Web layer means presentation layer. So DAO layer contains all the DAO classes, model layer contains all the models, and service layer contains all the service classes, and web layer contains all the presentation classes. So we are only focusing on a DAO design pattern, so we'll focus on this DAO package. All right, so look at here user DAO interface. It exposes these database related operations or methods. All right, so these are the abstract APIs. So we need to provide implementation for all these abstract APIs. Okay, so look at here user DAO IMPL class. So basically it implements all the CRUD database operations that are in our interface. So we are using JDBC API to provide DAO implementation for all the CRUD database operations or methods. All right, so look at here we are implementing insert user method, update user, select all user, and delete user. Okay, so this is how the DAO layer looks like. So basically we need to create an interface with the abstract APIs, and we need to provide a concrete implementation for these interface methods. All right, and look at here we are keeping all the database related logic into a separate class. We are not mixing in a business layer or a service layer. All right, so user class, we can keep all the business logic into user service class. Okay, so as of now we don't have business logic for this project, but if you have any business logic, then make sure that you will keep all your business logic into service classes. All right, and again we create an object of the user DAO class, and we just call a database or a DAO methods here. Okay, it's pretty simple. And this is user servlet. It acts as a presentation layer, and it handles all the HTTP requests such as post, get, etc. All right, so pretty simple. So I hope you understood the implementation of the DAO pattern. So simply we create an interface with all the CRUD operations, database operations, and we create a concrete class which provides implementation for all the abstract APIs. All right, it's pretty simple. So now let's go ahead and let's run this application, and let us see the demo. So I'm just deploying this application in a Apache Tomcat server. So let's wait for a moment. Apache Tomcat server will take couple of seconds to deploy it. Yeah, here we go. So let me access this link from the browser. So in a browser, just I will paste the link here and refresh it, and here we go. So this is a user interface for user management application, and here we can add the user. So let me add a user here and save it. So here we go. So this is how we can add the user, and we can also update the user. So this is the example I have already explained in a previous video tutorial step by step. So I highly suggest you guys, if you don't know how to create a web application using Servlet, JSP, JDBC in MySQL database, then you can visit the previous video tutorial where I have explained you how to create this user management application using JSP, Servlet, and JDBC. All right, so this is the same application I am using in this video tutorial to just demonstrate the usage of DAO design pattern. All right, so again you can delete this user, and here we can, let me show you one more user. So this is how we can add the users. Okay, so pretty simple usage of DAO design pattern. So let's have a look into the advantages of DAO pattern. While changing a persistence mechanism, service layer doesn't even have to know where the data comes from. For example, if you are using MySQL database, and if you want to shift from MySQL database to MongoDB database or a Postgres or Oracle, so all the changes are needed to be done in a DAO layer only, because we have separated out all the persistence logic in a DAO layer, right? So whenever you want to change the databases or any database related changes, then you need to only change the DAO layer. You don't need to change the service layer or presentation layer. All right. So this is the important advantage of DAO pattern. So DAO pattern emphasizes us on the low coupling between different components of the application. So the view layer have no dependency on the DAO layer, and only service layer depends on it. Okay, so service layer only depends on the interfaces and not from the concrete implementation. So I have shown you in the example, right? So we have a user DAO interface which exposes all the crude DAO operations, and we have a concrete user DAO MPL class which implements all the user DAO interface methods. And in a service class, that is a user service class, we just use a user DAO interface to interact with the DAO layer. All right. So as the persistence logic is completely separate, it is much easier to write unit tests for individual components. For example, if you are using JUnit and MockUtito for the testing frameworks, it will be easy to mock the individual components of your application. Okay. So as we work with the interfaces in DAO pattern, it also emphasizes the style of the work with the interfaces instead of implementation. So which is an excellent style of programming. So only work with the interfaces instead of implementation. So this is one of the principles that we can implement in a DAO pattern. All right. So these are the few of the advantages of DAO pattern. So I highly suggest you guys to use this DAO pattern in your Java applications. I hope you understood the usage and implementation of DAO pattern. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that whenever I will publish such videos, you will get notified. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.